Welcome to Dr. Tom's Throttle Therapy. So after buying a 260 kilo Pan American Harley-Davidson, I thought I needed a bit of training. So I signed on at the Harley-Davidson Mick Extance Adventure School in Wales. Mick is a 9 times Dakar rally competitor and he completed all 9. And what Mick doesn't know about off-roading a big bike isn't worth knowing. So you sign on and you can do it in various ways, as a group or as an individual with one-on-one training with Mick, and turn up on the day. So the day starts, you turn up at the centre, which is in Wales, and sign in, get teas, coffees. Anybody who needs to hire equipment, if they've not got their armour with them, or boots or gloves or whatever that's needed, Mick's got it all there, so you can hire it if you need to. You can take your own as long as it's suitable. You will check it before you set off to make sure it's suitable. You have a quick briefing, and it is a quick briefing. Mick's ethics is, I want you on the bikes as soon as possible to learn the bikes, not sat in the classroom talking about them. So you set off, and around 10 minutes after you've left the centre, you get to what I would describe as Mick's field. I don't know any other way of describing it, but it's Mick's field. So at the field you have a little bit of a briefing in this car park where you can see now, and you then do laps of the field basically, and it'll start you off getting on your foot pegs, and then you're doing figure of 8s, and you're up and down it, and you're in the bad bits and the good bits and the soft bits, and just showing you how to get through them. If you need to put your feet down and paddle through it, it'll show you that as well. So once he's happy, he then gets you to do a couple of runs of doing this type of thing here. You can see in front, it's actually steeper than it looks, but you're pretty much going up a bit of a track, and you've got to power your bike up this little hill. It's a bit slippery. I stalled it at the top. One of the guys actually dropped it there, but it doesn't matter. There's no shame in dropping a bike. You're on an adventure training day. It's more about learning rather than shame of it all. So then once he's happy, he then sets you off, and you come out the final exit of the field, which again is a little bit of another slightly harder bit of the field, where you're going to go up another hump, and then you set off onto the slate roads. So I don't actually know, but I assume these roads were used for slate mining in the day, and they were created for lorries or carts probably to get up and down, and pretty much from leaving the field till going for your lunch, you're on slate roads or worse, to be honest. So as you'll see from these clips, I have clipped them a little bit because it's going to bore everybody to death if there's 6 hours of me just riding like this down a slate road. Now the roads, unfortunately, the way I'd mounted this Insta360 camera, it don't really give you a good view of the terrain you're on. In my wisdom, I didn't bring loads of mounts with me, so I had to mount it on the handlebars, and this was the only one I could get where it's filming through the canopy of the the front window. So throughout the day you're on these types of roads, so you get lots of good time of cruising down these roads at anywhere between 10 and 30, maybe 40 mile an hour at the most. And every so often, when you're going to do something out of the ordinary, you stop as a group. Mick will get you all together, make sure nobody's lagging behind, and just talk you through what you're going to do on the next bit. So it could be a downhill section, an uphill section. It could be something a bit tough. You're going onto different terrain. You're going on grass. You're going through a wood. So he'll brief you. So he stops you and briefs you. And the thing I really liked about Mick's course is he'll say, if you don't want to do this bit, you don't have to. You can meet me at the other side of it. And there was only one bit during the day I wasn't so keen on doing. It was a heavy bike, and I wasn't so sure about it. If I did it again, I'd have a go at it. But me and one of the other chaps, we sort of went round it, and Mick and the younger guy who was more experienced than us two, them two bombed around it, and it was great. So we're going up this bit here. You can see it's a hill. It was actually steeper than it looked on this video, but you do a lot of climbs. up and down rocks, and you go places this bike should not be able to go. And any of you are considering a Pan American, don't shy away from it. I've got a Triumph Tiger 900 Rally Pro, and this bike can go anywhere that bike goes. So if you're only going to buy one bike and you do fancy the Harley and you're going to do a bit of green laning on it, I wouldn't worry about it, it'll go there. The only slight thing with it is, it is heavy. I'm not going to deny it. The Triumph Tiger 900 is probably 30-40 kilos lighter than this one. So on this bit, Mick had decided we needed to go rutting through like I don't know what it was, a slate little stream or whatever it was, but it was very rutty and very bumpy. You can't really see through the screen, but it was a tough area. And again, he said, if you can't ride it on your pegs because it's rutty and you're going to fall off, put your feet down. They are the best stabilisers that God gave you, so use them if you need to. And a couple of the bits I did put my feet down and walk it through because the ruts were quite harsh. Come out the other side and you're up a bit of a hill, you sort of go through this quite deep water section, and then you're onto the main road again, or the main track, should I say. And another section completed. Mick's always there, giving you a thumbs up, everything okay, and off you go to the next section. So off we go, and there's various sections through here, some tougher, some easier. We did a couple of bits where I was quite disappointed because my camera battery failed or got too low at that point, so unfortunately I didn't record that bit and had to change my battery at the next stop. But these bikes go places they shouldn't go. It's as simple as that. So on Mick's course, the tuition you get from Mick is superb, and he is absolutely hilarious. So on this particular one, he decides in his wisdom we need to go through these, I don't know what it was, a bit of a forest, I suppose. And at some points you can see some of this shrubland, bushes you're going through is as tall as the bike, and he just says waddle through it, it'll go through. And when you think about Mick's ethics as a Dakar rider, when you're doing the Dakar, you've not got, you fall off and somebody will pick your bike up. You fall off where Mick's been in the Dakar and you're probably going to die there. So you've got to get through it, and Mick learns you the skills to get your bike through it. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't look pretty because you're waddling through with your feet. And other training I've done, they sort of make a big thing of you should be on your pegs all the time and never put your feet down and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with it. I like Mick's way of teaching that if you need to put your feet down, put them down. So we go through some deep water, as you can see on this particular one. It tells you again how to get through it, the speed you should go through, how to get through, and it gives you real life experience on this bike, rather than trying to teach you to be, I don't know, some fancy pants off-road rider where you look great. So you can see the scenery there. That's what it's like. Unfortunately, the day we was there, it was quite misty, and although it did clear later on in the afternoon, but as you can see from the tracks, it is all rough stuff. And for credit to these bikes, they will go anywhere. We had an absolutely fantastic day with Mick. I can't fault it for a second. So, after spending the whole of the morning on these sort of tracks and doing little skill sections, and you can see that the scenery is absolutely beautiful. To the right there is was a drop off there. You really don't want to go off to the right because you're probably not going to survive that one. But it's just so beautiful, this Snowdonian hillsides. So again, stop at another bit where we have a bit of a briefing. This one was a little bit tricky. One of the guys dropped his bike just here as we went around this corner, but yeah, all good. Absolutely loved it. You can see from the background that it's quite good. One of the things I did struggle a little bit with was standing up and changing gears at the same time with your feet. Something I got more and more used to as the day went on, but it is a skill you've got to learn. So as you get sort of further down, the sort of route takes you through, and eventually you sort of get towards lunchtime, and you're still sort of poddling through all these areas, and it'll do little skills checks. So it'll come up to an area and we'll go down a rutty road or something, and then eventually you just suddenly turn out of these quarries to main roads, and the main roads are just typical Welsh scenery. This was quite interesting. This was the Lake Vinwy Dam, I think it's called, just before the hotel where you go for your lunch, and that was interesting. With hindsight, I wished I'd have done that one again, on my own, gone back there or gone there the day before and had a good look at that, because it did look really interesting, that dam, but hey, can't have everything. So a brief ride, probably again maybe 10 minutes from where you set off. I'll just let the AI do a bit of editing the clip there just to see what that was like. I'm not sure whether I like it or not. Maybe you could comment to see whether you like that or not. And then off we go towards the hotel for lunch, which is the Lake Vinwy Hotel for lunch. And in typical Mick style, there's no such thing as going for lunch at the hotel the normal way. So as we set off to the hotel, you'll see here on the corner there's a sign for the hotel. Oh, it looks nice. Yeah, posh hotel. We'll go up here with a big splendid driveway. And as we get down there a bit, he veers off, and I'm thinking, well, maybe we're not going here for lunch, and we're going up this track. And this was one of the roughest tracks we've been up. It really did shake your fillings out. But we're going up here, so I thought, oh, well, maybe this is not lunch. And we're going what I assume is like the tradesman's entrance, because you get around the corner in a second or two, and the splendid hotel is there. Now, unlike a lot of courses I've been on, not just for motorbiking, but in general, you often get like a buffet lunch, or a couple of sandwiches, and not necessarily that fabulous, but it does you. No, not here. We turned up at this hotel, which you'll see in a second or two, and we park up, we go in with all our bike gear, and there's a wedding on as well. And Mick literally says, here's the menu, choose what you want to eat. And there literally was everything on the menu. So there's no crappy buffet lunch or anything like that. Mick really does look after you on this. So after lunch, you set off again. You do more bit of road riding, and more in the afternoon. It was more easy trails, and had a fabulous time. Mick Extance is as mad as a box of frogs, and he won't mind me saying that, but a fabulous guy. That's the bike down, and this is Dr. Tom's Throttle Therapy.